Hey, what's up? It's Achilles, and today we're with Indecisive Gaming TCG. I'm back with Red Purple Luffy. Now, this is my favorite deck. This is my first deck that I've played. So, I've been learning to play with them. Yamato and just other decks kind of took them out of the meta for me. Um, Playing them in regionals and just having to struggle so much to just keep up with the other decks now with this new support. And this is like the same deck I was running last time. Only thing I really did was add I think I dropped a 2k, dropped the zero cost, and I added two Onamis because playing her I should be able to get either counter and have a blocker on the field. So I felt like that was that was a little bit easier. And then yeah, if I'm missing, because sometimes I'm just like one card off from having the Shanks. So if I'm able to search a little bit more to kind of just help this deck be a little bit more consistent. As of right now, you can't search for your top end except for the Luffy that I'm playing. That's searchable with the searcher that we're using for Law. And Law, I do love him in this deck. Um, I wished he searched for Eustace Kid. I wish I had a searcher for Eustace Kid that would make sense in this deck, but at the moment I don't. And I could use the event, but then you miss out on a weenie body that could, take out LaFed, take out um, the Bon Calais after it swings. Um, you just miss that value that you get from having a searcher that is also a body. Now, and then one thought that I was having was maybe trying out swap him out, because right now I'm using him to search for my ramp. He can search for John Bart if I don't have a if I don't have a Bon Clay in hand and I don't have that, I can search for that. Or if I don't have the Zoro Joro, he can search for the Zoro Joro. But if I'm just using him to search for 2Ks and ramp, I was thinking maybe I could just run, double fingers instead, um, which is a little bit more on Don. And I won't get my Zoro Joro, but I will have at least some kind of ramp and defense. At the same time, there's also some other ramp, like smaller ramp options. I think there's a Uta, so she'd be like my 3 Don ramp turn. So essentially doing what the Zoro Joro does, and also being able to ram into those searchers maybe a turn after, but not bad. It doesn't have any counter. That's the bad part about it. But as of right now, I think I'm liking how the deck is. But if you guys have any suggestions, please put it down in the comment below. And I haven't gotten into any locals, so I haven't got any live gameplay. As soon as like the holiday season is kind of over with, or I can like sneak away. Definitely want to get some cams with this RP Luffy. But let's go ahead and get into the games. Okay, so first match we got is Purple Luffy, and starting the hand after the mulligan wasn't too great, but I did get the Zoro Joro. So we do our standard play, attack 6, drop the Zoro Joro. Good thing is Purple doesn't have any pops, so I don't have to worry about anything like that. I don't have another ramp, but I do have another Zoro Joro. I don't think I play it. I'm thinking about how I want to do it. So yeah, I think I play it just to get that free ramp. He has to swing into the Zoro Joro. That'd be a blocker. And we go 7. Look at the counter he gave. It was like 2 1Ks. So he doesn't have any 2Ks right now. We dropped the Zoro. That way we can go to 10 and get that Shanks out as soon as possible. He did flood the board, and Ben Beckman is a thought. Just to get rid of that Sangro like ASAP. But yeah, I end up thinking, let me establish that. Let me establish the kid. That way, if I start dropping 10 drops, 9 drops, I can be set. 7 to the Zoro. See if he wants to drop 2 more 1Ks. And he does. So his hand is pretty low. Now he does have the Sangro out, which will help him get some of those cards back. He gets the Searcher out. Another Sangro. If he gets multiples out there, it's gonna be really hard for me to like go against him, because he'll just keep getting counter, keep drawing counter. He put 9 down on him, 10 down. If you know you're gonna take a hit, it's good to take the first one, unless you can't counter all of it. Because I have the Gun Giant, I know whatever big swing he swings at me, I can counter out of the second one. So I can definitely set up, get my 9K leader. I could also, and I think I do it that way because the Gum Giant does mess up like your Dawn efficiency. So I could leader effect, be at 10, do the kid minus the Dawn, but then I won't be able to get that Dawn back to use it. But if I play the new gate, that'll put me at 10 Dawn next turn. So that way when I swing with the kid, I can drop the Shanks. I can drop the Shanks, then swing with the kid. And wanting to have a leader effect up just in case I get a Gun Giant. It could always be in life. And this guy is protecting the mess out of the Sangoro. He's losing cards, but he's also getting those cards back. He drops double blocker, making sure his Sangoro is really protected. He's starting to attack my kid because the kid is a problem. Good thing is I can protect him from all his swings, and we can do this again. I can put 2 down on him, pop one of his blockers for free. We'll swing it into the Sangro again, making him want to protect it. Get rid of the blocker, and then bam, we'll go ahead and. I was thinking about swinging first or playing the bin, but yeah, I want him to lose all the cards in his hand. So hopefully he throws some more cards out, which he does, and then we pop the bin. Leaving 1 up. I decided to search for 2K, and I do find one. And with no other swing, I do 7 to leader. Ideally, it would be the Luffy Taro, but I didn't get my leader up that high. But I do have a nice board, and he swings big. I thinking about countering, and I don't, because I know the next swing I can counter out of, especially having that 0 cost. And it also made him swing lower, but I decided to go ahead and take it and just go for game. He doesn't have that many cards. He gave us so many counter cards last turn, and we can just swing with all the bodies we have on the field. If anything, I could even drop the Shanks still. So now we have our Shanks, and I don't have the ideal turn. I don't have the Zoro. I only have one ramp, but I do a big swing because that is our only play at the moment. So many big cards after the mulligan. And again, another big swing at him, which he can drop it down to a 2 and a 1 instead of 2 2s. And he pops him. I mean, he's done his job. He's got me to where I want to be. Ideally, I can't use the Gum Giant, but again, another swing. So we're just swinging big at him. Turn after turn, he is minusing us, but he's losing so much counter cards. And yeah, we're just trying to be a little defensive because he has a lot of cards in life, but not a lot of cards in hand. So if we can handle his board, yeah, handle the cards that they give us. He won't give us a dragon, but now he's at 3 cards in hand. He won't be able to defend that dragon much longer. The blocker does help. And he goes 14. Good thing is we have the Gum Giant, and hopefully, I wasn't sure which card to get rid of, and look, we get another Roger. So yeah, this gives us a new play. It's hard to do this because I have no defense. But hopefully getting rid of his dragon here, and he's giving me all the cards to defend him. So he can't go for game, but he can definitely go for board here. He doesn't have enough to defend his dragon if he does turn him sideways. Yeah, I have to let him go. But his leader swings into me. We get the Zorojoros we were hoping to get earlier. So just doing the math in my head. And if I need to attach some Dawn. I think just swinging into bodies, getting rid of his dragons. And just leaving one up for Gum Giant. I'm debating about putting the body out there, just swinging huge at him. Which I didn't need to swing. He only had 1 card, but I had no other play. Maybe putting the Zorojoro out there. Actually leaving 2 Dawn up and swinging with the rest. Now here comes a series of misplays. This one, so he has a Rayleigh who's minus 1000. If I keep the Gum Giant and I use it towards him instead of trying to be greedy and then hoping that my 2 draws I get at least 1 2k counter, which would have countered, but him not swinging with the Rayleigh, with the Roger, not the Roger, yeah, sorry, him not swinging there and leaving 2 Dawn up for his event, is which I assume he has, is kind of his downfall there. Because even if I decide to go all on Luffy, I don't think he blocks. I mean, it's still possible, but me playing this is definitely the safer route. He'll give me a card here, even with leader effect. But yeah, he should have definitely swung. That would have been game for him, I believe. But him not swinging and playing defensive, I think, was his downfall. But me also, I didn't have to counter that first, or try to counter that first one. If I counter the second one, then it blocks. But no matter what, it worked out in the end. He did have a good chunk counter, but I just had way too many swings. And here we are. We're back into the purple Luffy once again. This one in ranked, we had like we ended up playing each other 3 times. So instead of showing you all three of those. I just showed you the best one. I won twice, he won once. And the one I lost was a really bad game with me getting a really bad hand. I think I just had nothing but 2Ks. But we're starting off the combo like normal. We draw into Arbonne Clay, which is perfect. It lines us up to get to 10 Don on, I believe, our next turn. Yep, I'll be at 9, leader effect 10, and we have a Shanks that we can drop down. He swings into my pseudo blocker, which we don't need anymore now that we slated to make that 10 Don. As long as he doesn't play like a Magellan to knock us down a Don, and then we wouldn't have any. Then we wouldn't have anything to play for 9. But hopefully we get to Shanks out, and then we're sitting perfectly. And now we are missing a piece to play after, and bam, just like that, a new gate. So now that he only has a bunch of 6K bodies, and then he's gonna want to play on curve next turn. I think I should have played the Shanks, but the new gate isn't bad either, because it's gonna be very hard for him to swing into me. I'm thinking since he doesn't have any Luffy Taros, there's a Sangoro to get rid of the Mon Clay, which again is fine. I think I may have should have swung with the Bond Clay just to just in case something like this happened. Just go ahead. He had a 6K body on there. Take some cards out of his hand. And I don't have any 2Ks, so 1K, so I have to drop 2Ks, which is all fine. We swing back at him. We drop the Shanks, and yeah, we try to get rid of some cards out of his hand, which he gives me. So, and now we're tied up in life. He has a lot of cards in hand, and I don't see any. I do have a lot of 2Ks. That's the one good thing, but not having any Gum Giants or Namis to play in this situation kind of looks a little scary. He does heal, and we don't really have. We can establish a Roger just to have a 13K rush, or we can just like swing big into life. I decide to just go really aggressive. We're gonna get that Gum Giant out of his hand and as many cards as we can. And since we do have a lot to defend ourselves, I drop a blocker just to help defend my cards, but we still have a lot, not a lot of 2Ks, we have 2Ks and 1K to defend ourselves. And he's not going after bodies on field, which is surprising to me. But he might be trying to swing 6, 8, and then drop a rush on me, which I'm fine with. We'll take that one. We got a Roger for next turn if we don't just go for game. And him dropping the Nami shows that he didn't have any rush. He has a blocker, but I have the Roger out on the field, so that's an easy pop, and I don't think people notice, but he does drop 2 blockers, which does slow the process down. I think we can still go for a game here after popping. We'll see if he takes this or if he Gum Giant. It could also be a bluff. Taking that tells me a lot. We'll see what he does with the 12K swing. This should get that Gum Giant out, if not other cards as well, because he still has to give a couple of cards. 12, 13 is a couple of 1Ks, so he doesn't have that many 2s. I just need to hit him one time so we get a free 2K out here. 2 1Ks here, and then we could just stack here. So at best he has 2 1Ks here. So we swing big enough where he has to block, and then the next swing we have extra Don left over just in case he was baiting me and he had like some 2Ks. But now we're going into the black purple Luffy matchup. And that law, every time I want to take it out, it proves itself why it needs to be in the deck. It gives me my searcher, and I'm pretty much set up for everything. That Zoro combo is so nasty, but he puts 2 down on him and swings big. I do have a 2K benefits with a 6K leader. And now we're starting off to do our combos. We have our perfect ramp, and he's ramping really big. The top knot, really good in that situation. He does lose Don doing that, and ends up making me use that 0 cost event. I do want to keep Roger in the situation because towards late game they will go down to 0, play a Gecko, and then block her up. So if possible, keeping the Roger is the smart play, but I still do want to get that Shanks out. I always want to get that Shanks out. Just make it harder and then make them invest more Don into swinging into me. They already have to invest 1 Don already. I am very low, so ideally this isn't the situation, but his hand size is very low. And this was hard. I was like, do I swing with 6 or do I swing with 5 after I dropped the Shanks? But I was like, well, I'm swinging somebody, so it didn't matter regardless. And now we're in a situation. I don't have my Gum Giant. And if he wanted to try to go for game, he could have. But he decides to swing very large at me to make it uncomfortable for me next turn. Just doing the math, I have exactly 10. I'm looking, I don't have a lot of defense. So yeah, definitely getting rid of the body is what I want to do. Hopefully, yeah, so he Gums Giants, which I'm okay with. It gives him some cards in hand. I only have some 1Ks, but now I have a card for the Gum Giant to get rid of. I did have to get rid of that Roger. We just set ourselves up just in case he... And the Bond Clay play is not horrible. I just really wanted to swing into him. Now him dropping the Urahachi to rest my blocker is very scary, but him also dropping other cards. So I think if you drop the Urahachi, then you're going for game and you swing with your blocker and your leader. But because he used so much time, I was able to just counter out of that. And now we get to poke at his counter. It'd be really great if he didn't have any counter cards and we got a Gum Giant off of that 5K swing, but we got a 2K off of a 5 swing, so that's not bad. I knew he was going to take that one, and this is the debate. If I play the kid, that's like adding 1K counter, but if I play the Shanks, it's also adding more than 1K counter because it's minus in all his... It's not minus in the leader, but it is minus in all his characters, just making it very hard for him to swing into me. And that's just what this deck is made for, is playing these cards out and making it where they have to invest so much Don that they can't really play on curve. And again, he rests my blocker and only swings 7. I don't have enough to block that, but I get exactly enough to block 9. And he quits right after that. That one was really close.